I was standing in my kitchen that night, staring at the condensation crawling down the window, pretending I had control over my life. Outside, the rain wasn't falling. It was hammering, like fists against the glass demanding to be let in. A suitcase sat half-packed on the counter, though I wasn't going anywhere. I just liked the idea of escape. The air smelled of scorched coffee and damp wood, as if the house itself had been holding its breath too long. I told myself I was planning a trip, maybe finally leaving the city, but the truth was simpler. I was trying not to think about the call. Her voice had clung to me all day, slick and impossible to wash off, like oil under my fingernails. She knew my name, but worse, she knew the name no one else could possibly know, the one my mother whispered when I was too small to be afraid of anything. I kept convincing myself it was some prank, a glitch, a coincidence, but the photos in the envelope said otherwise. Pictures of me, years old, some I remembered, some I didn't. Each one smudged at the edges like someone had pressed their fingers into the ink. And in every single one, just behind me, blurred but visible, was a woman I swear I've never met. The call had come at an ungodly hour, 3:17 in the morning. My phone lit up the ceiling, like a searchlight finding a fugitive. No name on the screen, just numbers that seemed too long. Hello. My throat was thick with sleep. Silence first, then breathing. Not heavy or threatening, just present, like someone learning how to use lungs for the first time. My little beetle. The pet name hit me in the stomach. Nobody called me that. Nobody except my mother when I was 4. When I was scared of thunderstorms. When she'd hold me and say beetles were brave because they carried whole worlds on their backs. Who is this? A laugh came through, soft, like tissue paper crumpling. You know who I am. You've always known. I ended the call, threw the phone across the room. It landed screen down on the carpet. The battery fell out. Good. Let it stay dead. But I couldn't sleep after that. Every shadow looked like a person waiting. Every creak sounded like footsteps. I made coffee I didn't drink, packed clothes I wouldn't wear, anything to keep my hands busy while my mind unraveled. Morning came like a fever breaking, weak light through dirty windows. I put my phone back together. 17 missed calls, all from numbers I didn't recognize, all too long to be real. My laptop was worse. The password had changed overnight. Not hacked exactly, just different. I tried my usual. Nothing. Tried variations. Nothing. Then on instinct, I typed Biscuit. It worked. Biscuit was my childhood dog. A golden retriever who died when I was 7. I hadn't thought about him in decades. But my fingers knew the name. Inside, everything was rearranged. My desktop files sorted into folders with names like Summer at the Lake and Christmas Morning 1993. Photos I'd never uploaded. Documents I'd never written. Spotify opened without prompting. A playlist called When You Were Sick started playing. Old songs. Lullabies my grandmother hummed while checking my fever. Songs in languages I didn't speak but somehow understood. My browser history showed searches I hadn't made. How to remember things that haven't happened. Can memories belong to someone else? What to do when you're becoming someone. The search dates were wrong. Some from next week. Some from 20 years ago. Time stuttering in my laptop like a broken clock. My coffee maker had been reprogrammed. It made my coffee wrong. Too much sugar. A splash of milk. The way my mother took hers. The way I'd never taken mine. Even my handwriting had changed. I found a grocery list I'd started yesterday. The first half was my writing. The second half aged before my eyes, letters getting shaky, older, like watching myself age and fast forward. The grocery store felt too bright, fluorescents humming like angry wasps. I pushed my cart through aisles that seemed longer than usual, everything in the wrong place. I was reaching for pasta when I heard it. My name, not my adult name, the full version my mother used when she was serious. Elizabeth Marie. The voice came from the cereal aisle, close enough to touch. I abandoned my cart, rounded the corner fast. Nobody there, just a smell hanging in the air, sweet and stale. Virginia Slims, my father's brand, the smell of Sunday mornings and newspaper ink, of him kissing my forehead before work, of finding his jacket after the funeral and breathing in what was left. An old woman stood at the end cap, gray coat, gray hair, gray skin. She looked at me like she knew me, like she'd been waiting. "Excuse me," I started. She walked away, not rushed, just steady, like she had somewhere to be. I followed her through produce, past the bakery, into the parking lot, but when I pushed through the doors, nobody was there. The security guard looked concerned. "You okay, miss? Did you see an old woman? Gray coat?" He shook his head, checked his monitors. "Just you." Back at my car, I found something under the windshield wiper. Not a ticket, a receipt. From the store, dated 30 years ago. The items, formula, diapers, and a sympathy card. The signature at the bottom was mine, but I would have been 3 years old. The envelope was waiting when I got home. Thick manila, no postage, no address, just my name written in pencil. The handwriting looked tired. Inside were photographs, dozens of them, some I recognized from family albums. My 5th birthday, first day of school, beach vacation when I was 9. But others were impossible. Me at places I'd never been, wearing clothes I'd never owned, standing with people I'd never met, all old, all faded, all wrong. In every photo, she was there, the woman, always behind me, sometimes barely visible. A shoulder, a hand, a shadow, but consistent, present, watching. One photo stopped my breathing, me at maybe 6 years old, sitting on a porch swing I didn't recognize. But the woman behind me was clear this time, her face visible over my shoulder. She looked exactly like me, but 40 years older, same eyes, same nose, same smile, but worn down, used up, like a photocopy of a photocopy. Another photo, my 8th birthday party. I remembered this one, the dinosaur cake, the paper hats. But in the background, sitting at the table, was an extra guest, the woman again, eating cake, laughing, part of the memory. The worst photo was recent, taken maybe last week. Me, asleep in my bed, in my current apartment, taken from inside my room, from the corner by the closet, where no one should be. I spread them all on my table, chronological order, birth to now. In the early ones, she was distant, unclear, but as I aged, she got closer, clearer, more solid. In the most recent photos, we were almost touching. At the bottom of the envelope, folded small, was a letter. My mother's handwriting, her specific way of making letters. But the paper felt new, the ink still wet in places. "My sweet girl," it began, but that was wrong. My mother never called me that. She had a son, my brother. He was her sweet one. I was her little warrior. The letter continued. "By now you've seen her, the woman who watches, who waits, who remembers. Don't be afraid. She's not here to hurt you." The handwriting shifted mid-sentence. Still my mother's, but older, shakier. She's here because she has nowhere else to be. She exists in the spaces between your memories, in the moments you forgot, in the life you didn't live. Another shift. The writing now looked ancient, barely legible. I tried to warn you when you were young, but you were too young to understand. And now you're old enough, but it's too late. She's already inside. The last paragraph was different. Block letters, like a child writing. When you look in the mirror tonight, count how many faces you see. If it's more than one, stop looking. If it's less than one, you've already lost. The signature wasn't my mother's name. It was mine, dated tomorrow. I read it again. Different words appeared, the letters rearranged, new meaning, old meaning, no meaning. Sleep became a trap that week. Every night, the same dream. My childhood bedroom, perfect in detail. The horse wallpaper, the ceiling fan that clicked, the closet door that never quite closed. But the corner was wrong. My reading chair was there, but occupied. A woman sat in it. I could never see her face, just her outline, her breathing, patient, waiting. In the dream, I was 8 again. Small body, small hands, dinosaur pajamas I'd forgotten I owned. I'd lie frozen, watching that corner, listening to her breathe. Her breathing matched mine. When I held my breath, she held hers. When I gasped, she gasped, like we shared the same lungs, the same body, the same fear. Some nights she would hum, low and wordless, songs that felt familiar but wrong, like hymns played backward, like lullabies for the dead. One night, I tried to speak, to ask who she was, but my voice came out different, older, her voice from my mouth. You already know, I heard myself say. The worst part was waking up, because the breathing continued. The humming persisted. The chair in my adult bedroom seemed occupied, just for a moment, just until I turned on the lights. But the indent remained in the cushion. The warmth lingered in the fabric. Someone had been sitting there, watching me sleep, breathing my breath. The sounds started Thursday night, soft at first, like mice in the walls, but rhythmic, deliberate, Morse code tapped by fingernails. I pressed my ear to the wall. The tapping stopped. Then humming began. The same tune from my dreams, from my grandmother's sickbed, from funerals I didn't remember attending. My neighbor was supposed to be gone. Vacation in Phoenix. I was watering her plants. Her apartment should have been empty, but the sounds came from there, through the shared wall, through the years. I used my key, went inside. Her apartment was dark, dusty, but the humming was louder here, coming from her bedroom, from her walls, from inside the paint. On her wall were scratches, fresh ones, forming letters, forming words. She remembers. She's coming. She's here. The scratches weren't random. They were in my handwriting, but I hadn't made them. My hands were clean. My nails were short. But the walls knew my signature. I knocked on the wall 3 times. 3 knocks came back, then 10, then hundreds. The whole wall shaking with knocks, with demands, with memories trying to break through. I ran back to my apartment, locked the door, but the knocking followed. In my walls now, in my ceiling, under my floor, a house-wide heartbeat, a building-wide breath. I called Jennifer on Saturday. We'd been inseparable until 7th grade. Then her family moved. We lost touch like kids do. But I needed someone who knew me then. Jenny? It's Liz, from elementary school. A pause. Lizzie? Oh my God, how long has it been? I told her everything. The calls, the photos, the woman. My voice shook. It sounded insane. It was insane. She went quiet. Then, Liz, you called me about this already. What? When? Years ago, maybe 6th grade, you were terrified. Said a woman was following you. Said she had your memories. I didn't remember this. My childhood was clear, normal. No stalkers, no fear, no mysterious women. You made me promise not to tell anyone. Said she would know if I did. Said she could hear through walls. Jenny, I don't remember any of this. You don't? You were obsessed, drew pictures of her, always looking over your shoulder. Your mom was worried, took you to doctors. My mouth went dry. What did I say she looked like? Like you, but older, much older. You said she was you from later, from after. After what? You never said, just after. Like after was a place, a time, a thing that happened. Static, filled the line, or breathing, or years collapsing into seconds. Jenny, when you think of me as a kid, what do you see? A longer pause. That's weird. I remember everything about you. Your voice, your laugh, your favorite songs. But your face, it's like looking at sun. Too bright. Too many versions. Sunday morning shattered everything. I was brushing my teeth. Normal routine. Mint paste, circles on molars, rinse and spit. But in the mirror, for half a heartbeat, someone else stared back. A woman. My face but stretched across decades. Gray hair where mine was brown. Lines where I had smoothness. My eyes but tired, so tired. She was smiling, still brushing. Like we were synchronized. Like she was me in fast forward, living my future in my present. I jerked back, dropped the toothbrush. When I looked again, just me. But wrong. Like a mask that didn't quite fit. Like my face was borrowed. I leaned closer, breathed on the glass. In the fog, words appeared, written from the other side. Stop fighting it. I wiped them away. More appeared. You've already lost. I broke the mirror with my fist. 7 years bad luck. But in each shard, a different face. All me. All different ages. Baby to crone. All watching. All waiting. Blood ran from my knuckles. But when I looked closer, it wasn't red. It was older. Brown. Dried. Like it had bled years ago. Like the wound was a memory. In the largest shard, I saw my bathroom. But different. Older fixtures. Different tile. A bathroom I'd never seen. But somehow mine. Somehow home. The woman was there. Behind me. In the reflection. In the room. In the space between real and not. She mouthed words I couldn't hear, but I understood. Welcome back. Monday's envelope was thinner. 1 sheet inside, typed. The letters looked unstable, like they might rearrange themselves. Stop looking for me. You already know my name. You used to whisper it when you were afraid of the dark. I sat with those words. What name did I whisper? What did I call into darkness when I was small? Then it surfaced. Not a memory. Knowledge. Deep and automatic. Like knowing how to breathe. Elizabeth. My own name, but more. Not just Elizabeth. The Elizabeth. The one from before. From after. From always. As soon as I thought it, the apartment got cold. My breath visible. Ice forming on windows. Winter in July. Time confused. Seasons scrambled. The typed words changed. New message. Same paper. Yes. You remember. We remember. I remember. I tried to burn the paper. It wouldn't light. Tried to tear it. It wouldn't rip. It existed despite my efforts. Like memory. Like truth. Like her. That night, I found more papers. Hidden everywhere. In books I'd never opened. In pockets of coats I'd never worn. All with the same message. Elizabeth remembers Elizabeth remembering Elizabeth. Tuesday morning broke me. My phone had rearranged itself, every contact renamed. Mom became the kitchen incident. Work became where you hid. Jennifer became the girl who knew. I tried calling the numbers. They worked, but wrong. Mom's voice sounded underwater. Work played playground sounds. Jennifer spoke in languages I didn't know but understood. My laptop was worse. Every file corrupted, but corrupted into truth. Stories I'd never written about things I'd never done, but remembered. Somehow remembered. One document, the day we switched. 14 pages, detailed. About a woman who wasn't me becoming me. About me becoming her. About the space between one and the other. Another. How to live in someone else's memory. Instructions, steps, diagrams of how time folds, how identity blurs, how to exist in the spaces between seconds. My banking app showed transactions I hadn't made, but had. Payments to doctors 30 years ago. Deposits from jobs I'd never worked. Account age, negative 17 years. Even my reflection in my phone screen was wrong. Sometimes me, sometimes her, sometimes nothing at all. Just black glass and possibility. Wednesday, my apartment transformed. Not visually. Everything looked the same, but the smell changed completely. Became somewhere else, someone else. Mothballs in closets I didn't have. My grandmother's lavender soap. Carpet cleaner from houses with carpet. My father's cigarettes and coffee. The specific mixture of my childhood. I opened every window, used every candle. Nothing helped. The smell got stronger, more specific. I could identify rooms, kitchen smell near the stove, bathroom smell by the sink, attic smell from above. My neighbors complained, said my apartment smelled like smoke, like decay, like memories rotting. But to me, it smelled like home, like the home I'd lost, like the home that never was. I found myself crying without knowing why. The smells triggered moments. My mother singing while cooking. My father watching TV. My grandmother reading stories. All here, all now, all impossible. The worst was my bedroom. It smelled like fear. Specific childhood fear. Monster under bed fear. Someone watching fear. The fear of being small and knowing something was wrong, but not having words for it. Thursday, I drove to my childhood neighborhood. Mrs. Patterson still lived next door, 91 and sharp. She'd known me since birth. She'd remember. Mrs. Patterson? It's Elizabeth from next door. She studied me, long and careful. You look familiar, but different. Different how? Older, younger, both, neither. She shook her head. I'm not making sense. You remember me, right? I lived there with my parents. I remember an Elizabeth, sweet girl, quiet, always playing alone, always talking to herself, or to someone we couldn't see. That was me. No, dear. That Elizabeth would be 53 now. You're what, 30? My heart stopped. 28. Wrong age, wrong face, but something. She squinted. Like an echo. Like you're the memory of her. Or she's the memory of you. What happened to her? The other Elizabeth? Mrs. Patterson's face went dark. Nobody knows. One day she was there. Next day, the family acted like she'd never existed. Moved away soon after. But sometimes... What? Sometimes I still see her. In the window. In the yard. Age jumping around. Sometimes 8, sometimes 80. Like time doesn't stick to her right. That night, I tore my apartment apart, looking for something, evidence, proof, that I was real, that I was me, that I was only me. In the closet, behind boxes, I found journals, my handwriting, but at different ages, child's scrawl to elderly shake. All mine, none mine. One entry. She says she's me from later, after the switch, After the break, after time stopped making sense. Another. I can feel her in my head, thinking my thoughts, remembering my memories, being me better than I can. Pages were missing, torn out, but the gaps told stories, the missing parts more revealing than the present ones, a map of what couldn't be said. In the margins, conversations, two handwritings, both mine, different ages, arguing, agreeing, becoming one voice. You're not real, neither are you. We're both real. We're both memory. We're both now. We're both never. The final journal was blank, except for one line. Today's date. Tomorrow's words. Today we stopped pretending to be separate. Friday's work call destroyed the last barrier. Video meeting. Routine check-in. Until my manager's face went white. Elizabeth, your voice, ... What about it? It changed, mid-sentence, became someone else, older, much older. I hadn't noticed, but she looked terrified. Others on the call nodded, confirmed. My voice was sliding, young to old to ancient, sometimes mid-word. Say something else, my manager asked. I don't understand what's there. You did it again. 3 different ages in one sentence. She recorded the rest, played it back. I heard it then, my voice fracturing, multiple ages speaking at once, a chorus of myselves across time. The call ended quickly. Worried looks suggested I take time off, see someone, get help. But their eyes said, stay away. I called my voicemail, left a message. This is a test. Playback revealed the truth. 3 voices, young me. Help, current me. This is happening. Old me, finally. Saturday morning, I woke in the wrong place. Same apartment, but different. Wallpaper I didn't have. Furniture I didn't own. Photos on walls of moments I didn't remember. The wallpaper moved, breathed, patterns shifting when I wasn't looking. Horses becoming houses, becoming faces, all watching, all waiting. Toys scattered the floor, not new, old, mine from childhood. The bear with one eye, the doll with tangled hair, the puzzle with missing pieces, all here, all impossible. The windows showed wrong views, not the city, suburbs, trees, the exact view from my childhood room. But I was still downtown, still 3rd floor. Reality arguing with itself. The bathroom mirror showed 2 rooms. My bathroom, my childhood bathroom, overlapping, existing in the same space. Both real, neither real. I found letters I'd written, to myself, from myself, at different ages, all discussing the same thing, the woman, the switch, the inevitable collapse of the boundary between us. I need to tell you what happens next, but the words feel borrowed, like reading from a script written in my handwriting, but not by me, by her, by us. I'm sitting in my apartment that isn't mine, writing with hands that feel older, younger, both. The woman is here, has always been here, will always be here. She's in the corner, in the chair, looking at me, with my face, but lived in, used up, like she's been being me for so long she's worn it out. You understand now, she says, I say, we say. The room flickers, between now and then, between here and there. I see myself at 8, at 48, at 80, all in the same space, all real. We're not haunted, she explains. We are the haunting. Every version of us, past, present, future, all collapsed into now. I want to run, but I'm already running, already ran, will run. Tense means nothing here. I stand, walk to her. My feet are heavy, light, young, old. Each step crosses years, decades, moments. She smiles with my mouth, but experienced, exhausted. You don't remember being me yet, but I remember being you. What are you? What you'll become? What you were? what you are when time stops pretending to be linear. The room spins, or we spin, or time spins. Everything moving except us. We're the fixed point, the problem, the solution. How do I stop this? You don't. You already tried. I already tried. We already failed. Or succeeded. Depends on perspective. I reach out. My hand passes through her, into her, becomes her hand. Young skin aging instantly, old skin becoming young. We flicker. Choose, she says. Choose what? Which one of us gets to be real? Which one gets to be memory? Which one gets to exist in the present? But I realize the truth. We're all memory, all real, all now. The choosing is the trap. The separation is the lie. I wake up, but not in my apartment, in my childhood bedroom, real, solid, the horses on the walls, the fan that clicks, everything perfect, everything wrong. My phone is dead, not just dead, ancient, a model that won't exist for 20 years, or existed 20 years ago. Time is negotiable here. The house is empty, but lived in. Fresh coffee, still warm. Fresh cigarette smoke, still rising, like someone just left, or is about to arrive. All the mirrors are covered, sheets over glass, like sitting Shiva, like mourning. But for who? For when? For which version of me? I pull one sheet away. The mirror shows nothing, not empty, nothing, like I don't exist, or exist too much, everywhere and nowhere. Outside is wrong. The neighborhood is mine, but isn't. Some houses too new, some too old. Some haven't been built yet. Some were demolished decades ago. Time can't agree with itself. In the corner of the bedroom sits the chair. Someone small is there, watching, waiting. It's me, 8 years old, dinosaur pajamas, but her eyes are ancient, older than the woman, older than time. She looks up, smiles with her baby teeth. Don't worry, when I grow up, I'll remember you too. The words shatter everything. I understand. I'm not the original, not the copy. I'm the memory, the echo, the space between versions. We've done this before, she says, child voice, ancient words. The young one becomes the old one, becomes the young one. Circle, spiral, collapse. But I remember my life, growing up, being real. Those are my memories, her memories, our memories. We share them, trade them, like old photographs, like borrowed clothes. The room fades, or I fade, becoming transparent, less solid, more suggestion, more memory. What happens to me? You become what she was, what I'll be, the watcher, the rememberer, the one who exists in between moments. I feel myself dissolving, not dying, just spreading out, into walls, into air, into the space between seconds, into memory itself. Why? Because someone has to remember, someone has to watch, someone has to be the ghost, the memory, the echo, the proof that we existed. She stands, walks through me, like I'm not there, because I'm not anymore, not yet, not ever. Your turn to watch, to wait, to remember, to prepare the next one. She leaves. I try to follow, but I'm already in the chair, have always been in the chair, will always be in the chair. Somewhere, a phone rings. A woman answers. I whisper, "My little beetle." The cycle continues, has always continued, will always continue. I am the memory now, the ghost, the echo. I watch a girl who looks like me, who is me, who will be me. She's 28, scared, finding photos, getting calls. She doesn't know yet that she's the memory, that I'm the memory, that we're all the memory of someone who might have been real once, or might be real someday, or is real now in the spaces between real. Time is a spiral here. Identity is negotiable. Memory is currency. And someone has to remember, even if what we remember never happened, even if we never happened. But we did happen. We are happening. We will happen. In the walls, in the mirrors, in the photographs with blurred edges, in the voices that age mid-sentence, in the dreams of little girls who see women in corners. Check your childhood photos. Look carefully. See that blur? That shadow? That woman who shouldn't be there? That's me. That's her. That's us. That's you. We remember everything. Even the things that haven't happened yet. Even the things that never happened. Even the you that you haven't become. And someday, you'll remember us too. You'll have to. It's already happening.